Welcome to Nagaland TV. This is Gargi Deka and you are watching the English Primetime News. Here are the top headlines. Nagaland Board of School Education issues press release results of HSSLC to be declared on 20th July. CJI NV Ramana gives nod to separate High Court for Nagaland. A team will be sent to Nagaland for the inspection of the infrastructure. As Assam tabled cattle preservation bill, opposition and neighbouring states targets BJP government. Konark Sangma criticizes move. MHA orders probe to Rosie and Samuel Sangma death cases. CBI to start investigation of twin murder. Nagaland records 88 new COVID cases on Tuesday, taking the state's total COVID tally to 26,140. 3 succumbed to the disease in the last 24 hours. South Africa in unrest after Jacob Zuma's supporters blocked major roads as they demanded the release of the political leader. Results of HSSLC to be declared. Results to come out on 20th July. Results mark sheets will be available online. Details will be disclosed later. Hard copies of mark sheet and pass certificates will be issued later. Nagaland Board of School Education issues press release. And now the news in details. Results of HSSLC to be declared on the 20th of July. Results and mark sheets will be available online. Details will be disclosed later. Hard copies of mark sheet and pass certificates will be issued later. Nagaland Board of School Education issues press release. SLC A 6-member delegation of the High Court Bar Kohima bench met with Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana in Delhi on Tuesday, and they received a nod for Nagaland to have a separate High Court, provided that the state has required infrastructure in place. During the meeting, the delegation requested CJI's help in setting up a separate High Court for Nagaland. Justice Ramana conveyed that once a positive decision from the union government is conveyed, the office of the CJI will immediately give effect to a separate High Court for the state of Nagaland. The CJI added that a team will be sent to Nagaland for inspection of the infrastructure. Moving on to the next news, The Ministry of Home Affairs on Tuesday directed the Central Bureau of Investigation to inquire into the mysterious deaths of Rosie Sangma and her brother Samuel Sangma. The Home Ministry took the action following the complaint from Tura MP Agatha Sangma, who had written to Union Home Minister Amit Shah on June 30th, seeking a proper investigation into the mysterious death. It may be worth mentioning here that on the night of 23rd June, Rosie Sangma began experiencing intense pain in her hands and feet and started bleeding excessively. Samuel, who used to live with her, got her admitted to a private hospital. Thereafter, her condition deteriorated on the morning of 24th June and they shifted her to Alpha Hospital in Gurugram, while her condition, as per Samuel, began to improve. She was still there and she had an ice cream in the presence of the doctors, and shortly after that, her condition began to deteriorate and she passed away. The reports further stated that Samuel thereafter had an altercation with the hospital authorities and was thrown out. Miffed, he uploaded a video seeking justice for his aunt, which got a lot of response on the internet. However, on June 25th, he was also found dead in a hotel room. The family, however, believes that there was medical negligence in the case of Rosie and foul play in Samuel's death, and was therefore pushing for a CBI inquiry. On to the next news. On Monday, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma tabled the Assam Cattle Preservation Bill 2021 on the first day of Assembly's budget session. Soon after the bill was presented before the House, it has gained some attention across the nation, along with the neighboring states. The bill has become a subject of controversy over the consumption and sale of beef in society. We have a report.
जो हूबहू उत्तर प्रदेश से मिलता है, जिसका मतलब आरएसएस से आ रहा है.
Try to ask central government also to intervene in the matter.
मर रहे, सड़ रहे, गल रहे, तो आसाम में भी इसे एक माहौल बनाने के लिए कोशिश कर रहे.
Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma on Monday tabled the Assam Cattle Preservation Bill 2021 on the first day of Assembly's budget session. The bill would replace the existing Assam Cattle Preservation Act 1950, which allowed the slaughter of cattle above the age of 14 after approval from local veterinary officers. The bill provides that the sale of beef or its products will not be allowed in areas that have a predominant population of Hindus, Sikhs, Jains and other non-beef eating communities, or within a radius of 5 km of any temple, shatra or other religious institutions belonging to Hindus or any other institution. The bill also states that the transport of cattle from places outside Assam to any place within the state will also be banned by the legislation. Further, movement of cattle from one place within the state to another located in Assam will also be restricted. In lieu of this, Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad Sangma had expressed concern about the bill before it was introduced.
And obviously, if there is an issue which is there that's going to hamper our people and our economy, the matter will be taken up not only with Assam government, but we will try to ask central government also to intervene in the matter.
Similarly, in a press release, Nagaland Pradesh Congress Committee President K. Theri stated that caution should be taken before passing the Assam Cattle Preservation Bill 2021. He said that the bill should not be detrimental to the inherent trade and food habits of the Northeast. The NPCC president further added that they cannot simply change their culture to suit the mainland, as they need to be tolerant with the surrounding environment. As a reaction to the stated bill, State Opposition Congress leader Gaurav Gogoi on Tuesday said that the changes in the Assam's cow protection bill are influenced by the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh rather than the culture of the state.
तो अगर कुछ आइन लाना है तो हमारे संस्कृति के अनुचित होना चाहिए, हमारे संस्कृति के अनुसार होना चाहिए, जो वर्तमान की जो आइन है उसको लेके होना चाहिए। लेकिन ये सब ना करते हुए ये एक ऐसा आइन लेके आए हैं जो हूबहू उत्तर प्रदेश से मिलता है, जिसका मतलब आरएसएस से आ रहा है। असम में गोरक्षा को लेके हमारी संस्कृति है ही, हमारे बिहू में हम एक पूरा दिन एक देते हैं।
Reacting to the legislation, opposition parties of Assam and minority organizations said that the bill could lead to communal tensions and also affect the livelihood of many involved in the cattle trade business legally. Muhammad Aminul Islam, an All India United Democratic Front AIUDF MLA, made a statement on the same.
आप बिक्री में इतना कंडीशन है, वो जब फुलफिल नहीं कर पाएगा, वो बेचारा सरकार को आप ले जाओ, गौशाला बनाना होगा। आप गौशाला बनाइए। आप महाराष्ट्र, आप मध्य प्रदेश और यूपी में आपने देखा होगा, गौशाला में मतलब जो उनको खाना प्रोवाइड करना है, पानी पीने, पानी प्रोवाइड करना है, मेडिसिन नहीं दे पा रहे, मर रहे, सड़ रहे, गल रहे। तो आसाम में भी इसे एक माहौल बनाने के लिए कोशिश कर रहे हैं।
Consumption of beef is not illegal in Assam, but once enacted, Assam would join other BJP-ruled states like Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and Karnataka, which have similar legislation to protect cows. News Desk, Nagaland TV.
Moving on, Nagaland recorded 88 COVID cases on Tuesday, taking the state's COVID tally to 26,140. Among the new cases, Kohima recorded the highest number of new cases at 30, followed by Mokokchung with 28 cases and Dimapur with 8. Meanwhile, 3 people succumbed to the disease in the last 24 hours. The state's COVID death toll now stands at 514. 2 fresh fatalities were registered in Dimapur and 1 in Kohima. On Tuesday, 8 people recovered from the disease, taking the recovery rate in Nagaland to 91.57%. The state now has 962 active cases, while 23,938 people have recovered from the disease and 726 patients have migrated to other states. Nagaland has tested over 240,000 samples for COVID so far. Nagaland recorded 88 COVID cases on Tuesday, taking the state's COVID tally to 26,140. Among the new cases, Kohima recorded the highest number of new cases at 30, followed by Mokokchung with 28 cases and Dimapur with 8. Meanwhile, now we have our ground reporter Kumrido, who will be briefing us and giving us more insight about the state's COVID situation. Kumrido, could you please brief us about the situation? Kumrido, can you hear me?
Yes, hello. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you please brief us and give us more insight on the state's COVID present situation and how is the state combating the pandemic?
Okay, so as per the latest report,
As per the latest report, Nagaland have registered 26,100. Yeah, as per the latest report, Nagaland have registered a total of 26,140 total cases, out of which 962 is the active cases, and the recoveries come under 23,938. And as per the district data, the districts in Nagaland like Mon, Tuingsang, Kifri, Beren, Zenapoto, and Peg, they have less than 5% positivity rate. And out of which, Longlang and Timobur district, they have above 5% positivity rate. And the remaining districts like Mokokchung, Wokha, and Kohima, they have above 10% positivity rate. That is it for now.
All right. Thank you so much, Kumrido.
Okay, thank you.
Moving on, at least 13 people, including 9 Chinese nationals and 2 Pakistani soldiers, were killed after a blast sent a bus plunging into a ravine in a remote region of the northeastern Pakistan today in the morning. It was not immediately clear whether the blast was a result of the roadside device or something planted inside the bus. Moving on, Prime Minister Narendra Modi today chaired a meeting with the new cabinet at the 7 Lok Kalyan Marg. In the meeting, sources had said that Prime Minister had cautioned ministers against complacency in the fight against COVID-19, saying that the past few days there have been pictures and videos of crowded places and people roaming about without masks or social distancing. The sources said that the Prime Minister noted that people are not following COVID-19 protocols, which was not a pleasant sight. It is the first physical meeting in over a year with PM Modi and the cabinet. Today's meeting comes 2 days after the cabinet committees were reconstituted by the central government on Monday. Moving on, South Africa is burning for days and the death toll in the country mounted to 72 after the arrest of former President Jacob Zuma. The nation has been in a state of chaos and unrest after the Zuma supporters blocked major roads as they demanded the release of the political leader. It now seems that the country is slipping into a civil war. South Africa is burning for days. Death toll in the country mounted to 72. The nation has been in a state of chaos and unrest. Rioters and looters on roads with guns. Indians fight against arsonists and looters. After a violence engulfed in parts of South Africa following the jailing of former President Jacob Zuma, death toll in the country climbed to 72, which also include 10 people who were killed in a stampede during the looting on Monday night at a shopping center in Soweto. Crowds looting and setting alight shopping centers and clashed with police in several cities on Tuesday. A Twitter user has been sharing the videos of the rampage rioters have created. In a recent clip shared by the account, a person can be heard saying that the current riot is a civil war. In another video, visuals of a now empty gun shop were shown, which means that rioters and looters on road with guns.
According to reports, the rioters and looters are targeting people of Indian descent. It is believed that the locals are using corruption-accused Gupta brothers as an excuse to target the Indian community. In a desperate attempt to protect their business from looting, Indians have now stepped up their fight against the arsonists and looters. Visuals had emerged where the Indian community retaliated and shot at the looters. Meanwhile, South African police have issued a statement and said that they had identified 12 people suspected of provoking the riots and that a total of 1,234 people had been arrested. President Cyril Ramaphosa has called it some of the worst violence witnessed in South Africa since 1990s. National Desk, Nagaland TV.
Moving on, the Supreme Court bench of Justice R.F. Nariman on Wednesday issued a notice to the Uttar Pradesh government on its decision to proceed with the Kanwar Yatra this year. The matter will be up for hearing on July 16th. Earlier, the Uttar Pradesh government has issued the allowance of the annual Kanwar Yatra in the state for July 25th, and officials have been asked to coordinate with the neighboring states to ensure COVID guidelines, which are being followed amid the ongoing wave of coronavirus and fears of a possible third wave. The neighboring state Uttarakhand has cancelled this year's Kanwar Yatra as the state Uttar Pradesh is pressing ahead with the annual ritual that sees a heavy movement of pilgrims across the states in the northern belt. The announcement came hours after Uttar Pradesh CM Yogi Adityanath reiterated that the traditional yatra would be held following COVID protocols, suggesting that a negative RT-PCR test report could be made mandatory for the out-of-station participants. Moving on to the next news, India reports 38,792 new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours, taking the total tally to 3,09,46,074, while the death toll reached 4,11,408 with 624 more fatalities. The active cases have declined to 4,29,946 and comprise 1.39% of the total infections, while the national recovery COVID-19 rate stands at 97.28%, with the weekly positivity rate which stands at 2.25%. Maharashtra stands with the highest number of positivity cases in the country in the last 24 hours, with 7,243 infected people with the virus. The fresh case pushed the tally of infections to 61.72 lakh and 196 deaths. That took the death count to 1,26,220. After Maharashtra, Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh have the highest number of infections. We received the news of at least 13 people, including 9 Chinese nationals and 2 Pakistani soldiers, who were killed after a blast sent a bus plunging into a ravine in a remote region of the northern Pakistan today. It was not immediately clear whether the blast was a result of a roadside device or something planted inside the bus. We'll take more updates from our desk reporter, Yashira, who will be giving us more insight on the same. Yashira?
Yes, I
Yeah. Can you please give us more updates on the same?
Yes. So as we all know that the BESS bus fell into a ravine after a mechanical failure resulting in leakage of gas that caused the blast. Further investigations are underway, and for that we need to stay updated, and for that keep watching Nagaland TV.
Thank you, Yashira, for updating us on the same. Moving on, after a massive landslide followed by floods hit Himachal Pradesh's Kangra district, rescue operations are underway in Bo Valley. Due to heavy rains, the water levels in Manji rivers drastically rose, damaging several shops and houses in the Chetru village of Dharmshala. As per reports, authorities along with locals were seen clearing the roads and helping in rescue and relief operations at the valley. A native from the district urged the administration to provide rescue as soon as possible. Earlier on Monday, 2 people were reportedly went missing with incessant rains which caused floods in Dharmshala. According to the district administration officials, the Border Road Organization was seen being opening the highway.
शासन को चाहिए बड़ी मशीनें मंगवाई जाएं, पोकलैन इत्यादि मंगवाई जाए, इससे जल्दी से जल्दी राहत मिल सके। क्योंकि मैं देख रहा हूँ पीछे सुबह से लगी हुई मशीन अभी तक जहाँ एपिसोड हुआ है वहाँ तक पहुँच नहीं पाई है। छोटी मशीन इतनी बड़ी बड़ी चट्टानें जो कि इनको हटा नहीं पा रही हैं। तो मैं चाहता हूँ प्रशासन से बड़ी मशीनें पोकलैन उनको मंगवाया जाए और जल्द से जल्द राहत दी जाए। धन्यवाद। शासन को चाहिए बड़ी मशीनें मंगवाई जाएं, पोकलैन इत्यादि मंगवाई जाए, इससे जल्दी से जल्दी।
Moving on, Sher Bahadur Deuba has been sworn in as the new Prime Minister of Nepal. The 70-year-old centrist politician was sworn into office by President Bidya Devi Bhandari on Tuesday evening, a day after the Supreme Court of Nepal, in a dramatic verdict, said that the former Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli had violated constitutional principles. Deuba, who was seen as a member of parliament from Dadel Dhura since 1991, is required to seek a vote of confidence from the House within 30 days of his appointment as the Prime Minister. As the constitutional provisions, although the apex court ordered, has paved the way for Deuba to become a new Prime Minister, Deuba will have to secure majority votes in the parliament to survive as the Prime Minister for the remaining term of the 275-member House. Deuba has become PM for the 5th time after serving 4 terms earlier as the Prime Minister of Nepal from 1995 to 1997, 2001 to 2002, 2004 to 2005 and 2017 to 2018. That is all for now. Keep watching Nagaland TV for more news and updates.